So Doug, happy to have you with us. For those of us listening,
Thanks for inviting me.
yeah, Doug Waters, who leads the international recruitment effort at Abertay University in Scotland. I'm Jim McLaughlin, Assistant Vice President at the IC3 Institute. We're happy to have you here in Mumbai at IC3, so thanks for joining.
My pleasure. It's my first time in Mumbai in over 10 years. It's been far too long, so it's a pleasure to be back.
Yeah. So the topic of our conversation is school empowerment. Abertay is, in my opinion, one of the global spotlights in school empowerment. But let me ask you, what does school empowerment as an enrollment management initiative or strategy look like to you, Doug?
Well, I think it's a lot in keeping with the mission here at the IC3 movement, in that we're looking to build capacity in schools to empower schools, school counselors, but also faculty. We're looking essentially to look at our enrollment from a different perspective. Not every student can possibly be for Abertay in the same way that they can't be for any institution. And so what we'd like to do is be active participants in a really deep relationship with schools, whereby we can add value to what they're doing that subsequently will obviously benefit our enrollment and our outreach strategies, but really give something back to the school as well.
So Abertay is one of the very special institutions who is a part of the IC3 Institute Consortium. Why did you choose to come on board the consortium at the Institute, and with all of the opportunities that you have globally to invest your financial resources, your team's time,
Yep.
institutional time? Why did you do that, and what has it brought back to the institution?
The short answer is ethos. Really, when I learned about the IC3 Institute, and I was introduced by colleagues from other institutions in Scotland, I found it very much the ethos and the mission of counselling in every school empowerment, very much in keeping with what we were already beginning to do at Abertay University. So kind of our missions were aligned, both in terms of what we were trying to achieve, particularly in developing countries, but similarly, IC3 has also acted as an accelerant for us. We've been able to build networks in countries that we didn't previously have an enrollment footprint. We've been connected to people beyond IC3 by the IC3 participation that have subsequently led to developing network and community across schools in many different countries. And so it was really about identifying an organization that we could align ourselves with, that was looking to build deeper connections between schools and universities. That's what IC3 is all about, and really what the Abertay enrollment strategy has been about since I was in post in 2018. We really do want to provide the best advice to students that gets them towards career. Ultimately, people are choosing university looking for a return on emotional, financial investment. You're choosing a place to go and study where you're going to live your life for 4, 6, potentially more years. So it does need to be personalized, and there does have to be a different way to do enrollment and international outreach beyond visiting schools, universities, agents, and talking about admissions metrics and processes. It's something we pride ourselves on at Abertay as an institution that looks to provide something personalized and tailored to our students, to our staff, and develop that community. So we thought, that's absolutely how we should approach enrollment as well.
So what are some of the things that you get to do as a consortium member that bring value back to the work you're doing?
The connections that we built through that are obviously fantastic. So those are the things when you're talking to university management about access, being able to speak to counsellors, get in front of counsellors in countries that perhaps we don't go to. There's been so much community-based work online as part of the consortia, where we've been able to get access to schools and develop our school networks. But also there's the opportunity to help shape what the IC3 Institute is doing. We have a big focus on counselling in general at the university, be that mental health, social career, college counselling, etc. And so there's an opportunity for our faculty to become involved as well, to help design curriculum, to help shape the future of counselling, and that's really, really exciting. And the investment that we've made is not insignificant for a university such as ourselves. But when you think about the outcomes, when you think about what being part of the consortia has given to us, it's been it's a drop in the ocean in terms of what most universities would spend in outreach. We've, on the very practical side of things, we've been given access to, to specific events. We had a fantastic event earlier in the year where we, ourselves and our fellow consortium members were able to pick a topic to engage with hundreds of school counsellors, principals, school leaders to talk about what it is that we think's really important within school empowerment. And I took that opportunity to talk about some models of engagement that we've utilised at Abertay to an audience, some of whom were familiar with it, but many of whom were not. So that reach that IC3 has given us into not just Asia, Africa, but into Latin America and Europe as well has really helped us develop our outreach strategy in undergraduate enrollment.
So that event you're referring to is what we call at the IC3 Institute University Educators Exchange, and we piloted this in April, and it was a huge hit. So people said we want to do more of this. The Institute will have 2 events virtually. We know that situations globally are dynamic. Many are doing outreach, but some are doing more in new regions, some are doing less travel. This is also an opportunity for schools to come and learn from you and our colleagues in higher ed. So September and April, we're actually going to open this up to not just consortium members, but opportunities for more universities to come and connect with counselors in a meaningful way. It's a huge learning opportunity for our cohort members. It's a huge learning opportunity for all of those schools in our network. What would you say to those institutions who are, looking at ways that they can engage? When you think about something like the Educators University Exchange, is the value there for them, or is this something? How should they approach?
100%. And the Educator University Exchange event that we participated in gave us, as I mentioned, access to so many different counselors that we didn't know in countries that we don't recruit actively in at the moment. We've just come from a session where so many of the questions were around, but how do we build those connections in particular places? And what the Educator University Exchange will give participants is that opportunity to present themselves, something beyond just that standard university why presentation, to talk about your ethos, to talk about your values, to talk about how you want to develop partnerships to an audience that is desperate for that information. So whether you're at the beginning, in the middle, you've got a very well developed outreach strategy with schools around the world. It will really help you to shape, where to put that investment, with whom can I build these relationships. It'll give you access to so many counselors in many different places to help guide, where you may have resonance.
Well, thanks, Doug. And as we're, just 1 or 2 more questions, if I may.
Of course.
So as we, we would invite all of our colleagues to come to University Educators Exchange and be there with us and engage with counselors and schools in a meaningful way. But as we zoom out, Abertay has had, you've had a lot of success internally advocating for school empowerment as a recruitment and as an enrollment management strategy. We know that as we talk about that pendulum of counseling to sales, and where does your outreach approach, go?
Yep.
For those institutions that tend to be, may feel a little bit stuck here, that they want to advocate internally. Do you have any advice for institutions that want to embrace a new approach that would also be balanced with outcomes, which we know are obviously needed in any kind of recruitment and outreach strategy globally?
Thanks for the question, and that's certainly that's one of the things you do have to navigate when you're looking to develop your strategy in this way. First of all, I would say I 100% work in admissions. This whether you're in universities, schools, third-party organizations that are supporting students are at the center of everything that we do. And when you're in enrollment, there's a danger you begin to talk about students as numbers. You begin to look at dashboards and lose that human element that actually is you're providing a life-changing opportunity for that student, whether they're going overseas, going to a university nearby, whatever that choice they make is. And we all remember what it was like to make that choice when we were, barely old enough to make it. And there's so many different stakeholders that are involved in that decision. But we need to remember that human element that we do work in admissions. We are admitting talented students to our programs. But we can't deny that university management groups want to see return on investment, as we all do. Students want it from their degrees, and universities and colleges need it from their enrollment strategies. So I think the macro environment at the moment is the time really to speak to your university management, because if you look at the traditional host destinations, English-speaking host destinations, certainly, there's so much geopolitical turmoil that's affecting particularly postgraduate recruitment, which tends to be more transactional, which tends to pivot with where the best and most favorable immigration policies are. To speak university management language, undergraduate recruitment is inherently more sustainable. If you're able to build sustainable pipelines, sustainable programs with schools that will give you a number of students each year into bachelor's programs, undergraduate programs, and students stay with you for the 4 years, it's much more stable. You're developing a relationship directly with a school where there's no financial incentivization for that school. This is a genuine partnership and relationship between you and a school that will provide students in one direction for many years to come, and you provide support and sort of active partnership with that school for many years to come. So in a highly volatile international education environment, this is the right thing to do, not only because it's the right thing to do, but it's also the right thing to do for universities and their recruitment spend.
Thanks, Doug. Before I let you go, and I just want to say thank you again to Doug Waters from Abertay University for joining me for this conversation. You're also a volunteer supporting the IC3 Africa Committee. One word, one phrase that describes that experience for you.
One word: passion.
Thank you, Doug.
Grew up on the continent, and so I've always been really invested in supporting schools there.
Well, thanks, Doug.
Thank you, Jim.
We'll see you next time.